Your DNA is a right-handed double helix made up of these four things right here. The helix is held together by sulfuric bonds that appear after every 10 pairs of nucleotides, every 5 pairs of nucleotides, every 6 pairs of nucleotides, and every 5 pairs of nucleotides. 10, 5, 6, 5. Or in the Hebrew alphabet, Yod, He, Vav, He, Yahweh. The signature of your creator, an artist signing his painting, if you will. Now, if you read the patents for the magic potion, it is actually adding a triple helix. And is adding more of this. Which comes from a meteorite, or a colon star. In this 10-5-6-5, Yod He Vav He, Yahweh, quickly turns into 10, 5, 6, 6, 6, 5.
She whispers at the end of her video and the audio doesn't pick it up. All right. So after what she said and watching that Instagram message from my brother, I then responded to him. I had watched some previous alien videos in the past years, and people had said they had encountered these things and they smelled like burnt cinnamon or they smelled burned. So I responded, I said 666 is a carbon atom. They've been adding graphene oxide, which is carbon. Carbon is soot. It's a burnt material. They're binding hell to living beings to keep people from ascending. I never believed in hell until I began researching Yggdrasil, and one of my hypnosis clients actually described a place where burnt up entities were trying to find their way up into our world by digging and searching for roots to suck the life out of them. It also reminds me of what I heard about gray aliens actually donning a suit and smelling like burnt cinnamon, the bark of a tree. It is also reminiscent of Lord of the Rings and the orcs, which are fallen elves who were burning all of the trees and birthing more orcs from the slaughter of those trees. So, after this enlightening wake up from my brother, sending me that video, it triggered me into doing a little bit of digging and etymology. When we go into etymology, we're going to find many, many things. So, as we know, the carbon atom is what we have been in with our DNA. We are considered carbon 12, which is 6 protons, 6 neutrons, and 6 electrons. Then the graphene oxide is also being introduced into the bodies of people through carbon 60, through all of these carbon products that are being sold to people as health benefits. We should not be eating them. We need to eat more natural foods of the earth, as I always state, because the foods of the earth, straight from the earth, and especially from our own yard or our garden, will give us everything that we ever need. And to look for anything else is a falsehood, because these entities that came from hell own all of the corpse orations and the pharmakia and all of the darkness that is perpetuated around the world. So, as we know, graphene oxide is a two-dimensional crystalline allotrope with a hexagonal lattice structure made from pure carbon atoms. They're best known for its unique properties containing high optical transparency, the best heat conductivity at room temperature, and the ability to be flexible all within a strong nano-sized material. Graphene was first discovered by the mechanical exfoliation of 3D graphite crystals and peeling away a single layer of graphene with Scotch tape. Since then, graphene has gained recognition for its attributes, and different methods have been tested to find the best way to produce large-scale amounts with low cost, but is still challenging to manufacture with these specifications. I don't think it's that challenging since they're putting it in everything. Graphene oxide happens to be the great precursor to obtaining graphene with higher yields and lower costs. To obtain GO, graphite oxide is first produced by utilizing graphite crystals that have been oxidized with strong oxidizing agents such as sulfuric acid, sulfur. Get this now. Through sonication, graphite adopts oxygen-containing functional groups that allow the material to be dispersible in water while increasing interlayer distance. Then graphite oxide can be exfoliated into either single or multi-layers of oxygen functionalized graphene oxide. The difference between graphite oxide and GO are based on their different structures, but chemical composition remains alike. GO is a single-layered material made of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen molecules, which ultimately becomes inexpensive yet abundant. However, due to the disruption of its sp hybridization, GO tends to be described as an electrical insulator rather than a conductor. To counteract this disruption, GO can be reduced to form reduce graphene oxide to retrieve its hexagonal lattice structure and produce graphene-like sheets by removing a large portion of oxygen groups to closely resemble graphene. And here is its structure. This is the honeycomb pattern that is also used by amplifying different frequencies from DARPA. They use it as what they call space weapons, which is basically our space. They are using this on us. Everything out here is a weapon against us. We are the light. We're the light beings who came down here to have an earthly experience, and we are being honed and forged on the wheel of time by the will of time. And all of this stuff, this graphene oxide, this is from the underworld. All of this knowledge, they are still getting this knowledge from the underworld. The underworld knows they're about to lose us. We are about to slip out of their grasp because of our ascension, our ability to ascend. Our DNA can teleport, and it can transmute, and it can change based on the light codes from the sun and all of our universe, the one voice of God, or all of the sound frequencies of the stars, of the light in heaven. Everything is a sound frequency, and the lights are trying to sing praises right now to elevate us out of the grasp of this darkness. But we must know the traps first. We must know what we're up against. People are not spiritual. They have not returned back to their spiritual nature, to ground themselves in the earth and to just go outside in nature and take their shoes off and just convene with our mother. When people begin to do this again, they will begin to know themselves more fully when they go to nature instead of this material world. The material world is the lower states of consciousness that are holding us back. The time is now to, become awake and aware of what's truly going on, and that hell is actually here manifested on earth, and it's trying to gain as many souls as it can for its cause, for Ragnarok at the end of time. And again, time is relative, it doesn't really exist, but it's just a figure of speech. The end of time will be the end of the world as we know it, but it will subsequently rebirth itself again and begin anew. All right, so yeah, what they've done is they basically made this, they've allowed it the capability to work within the human body, or within life forms, all life forms, because they're spraying this, guys, and they're feeding this to us in our foods, since they know that most people won't take that little insertion into the arm. They are feeding it to us, and they're spraying it over our heads. They're doing all of these things because they know we're in a grand shift of consciousness. And since we're waking up to all of these things of evil and vileness, and we're on the road to finding out what Tartary is, and Tartarus, where the Titans actually dwell. They're chained underneath the ground in hell. Some of them, there's others in the world, but this whole narrative of Tartaria is about Tartary and Tartarus and the Titans. From this, apparently what happens in the age of Taurus is that hell gets unleashed onto earth because we go downwards in our consciousness, and then we become more material. And in that descent from heaven, from the higher estate of consciousness, we descend into the material plane more, and our collective memories are subsequently wiped by these controllers that come about after every golden age. It happens the same way. It's just, rinse and repeat. It's like the washing machine cycle. But you guys can go and look at this. I will leave this link in the description box. Let's keep going. I got to show you some stuff. Okay, so this is the DNA teleporting itself. The Nobel Prize-winning scientist Luc Montagnier, previously known for his work on HIV and AIDS, claims to have demonstrated that DNA can be generated from its teleported quantum imprint. This is a discovery that, were the scientific community to get on board, would represent the most significant experiments performed in the past 90 years, demanding reevaluation of the whole conceptual framework of modern chemistry, because it's not about chemistry. All of these scientists out here today are not spiritual. Their minds are based on materialism, because that is what the darkness has done to people. People go out to these universities and they pay a lot of money to be indoctrinated into these schools of thought that are not to benefit people. It is a very controlled opposition of humanity and the light that they are teaching. So they don't teach anyone truly about spirit, because the church doesn't even teach people really about spirit. They teach you that the power is outside of yourself. And this is the falsehood that needs to stop. And we need to make sure that people begin seeking this divinity within themselves and knowing themselves fully, because darkness has ruled our existence for over 3,000 years now. And hopefully, within the next 1,000 years, people will gain this awareness. I believe it's going to happen sooner. Within 50 to 100 years, most people in this existence are going to know absolutely beyond a shadow of a doubt that, darkness has been here and that we're now moving forward. So that's why they've also created this trap called the metaverse, so that they can collect consciousness in that form. They will have a tie to the underworld through the artificial intelligence. This is another falsehood and deception that we cannot fall into the trap of. Okay, there's many other things. So here we go, the science of 666. We are the gods of the atoms that make up ourselves, but we are also the atoms of the gods that make up the universe. That is Manly P. Hall. We are gods. We are as gods. There are others above us because they've ascended in their consciousness. You can either descend or ascend depending on where your free will makes its choices. The number 666 relates to the carbon atom and man. Carbon 12, one of the 5 elements in the human DNA, is composed of 6 protons, 6 electrons, and 6 neutrons, which equates to 666. Carbon 12 is the most abundant of the 2 stable isotopes of the element carbon, accounting for 98.89% of carbon. Its abundance is due to the triple alpha process, by which it is created in stars. And as Carl Sagan has once said, we're made of star stuff. We are light, actually. That's why we have gold in our blood. We have low levels of UV light in our DNA and in our cell structures. And that is in science, and you guys can go look that up. But I want to get over here to this great alien thing. Now, again, I had come across information where people in the past, like, between 2009 and 2020, I had listened to these UFO alien videos where people were describing the smell of aliens. And when they actually described too that these beings were inside of suits and that they are obviously from the underworld, that they were shriveled up and they looked like tree bark, and they also smelled like burnt cinnamon, or just like a burnt smell that was a stench. Well, when you remember what we've learned about Lord of the Rings, how they were actually, burning the trees, and they were digging up the trees, and they were doing all this stuff. All of that was in the hypnosis session. If you go and look on my channel at the Magic of Yggdrasil, you can listen to one of my clients talk about this experience. Now, she was not aware of Yggdrasil. She was not aware of the underworld. She wasn't aware of any of this stuff. And that's what was so amazing. Like, she was not awakened to any of the stuff that I'm talking about right now. So that I highly recommend you go listen to, because the details are uncanny about our world and how it coincides with what's happening and what I'm talking about right now. So these gray aliens, oh my gosh, when you think about it, they're wearing a suit, a gray suit, because the light needs to be refracted off of their body. They cannot touch the light. They cannot touch it physically with their skins. So someone has made them a suit that they can come up from the underworld, wear this suit, and then be exposed to the light of the sun, because the light of the sun will kill them. It will singe them. That is how powerful our sun is. We can walk in the light because we contain light within our bodies. But these things, they have dark lenses over their eyes. And that darkness keeps the sun from reaching their physical form. They have special equipment, basically, from somebody's giving them special equipment. And it would not surprise me if it is our governments around the world who are bringing this stuff about. They know a lot more than we do. They have held us back from our ascension from the past, and they have rewritten our history. They basically erased history and they rewrote it to their cause and their modus operandi, which is to bring hell upon earth. These people sold themselves to the darkness long ago, and they have been creating legions of demons, what we would know as demons. We just call them demons as a generic term. It is darkness. It is shades. It's shadows. It's other entities that we are not fully aware of that have taken over the bodies of these people and their minds. And now these things, because they can see into the spirit realm, they know where to find all of the things that they need to find as tools to then go and make everything that they need to bring about hell on earth. This is what's happening right now. All right, let's keep going. We're going to look at this. I found this little blog on Reddit, and I found this highly interesting that it coincided with what I had seen in the past on some of these videos. Gray alien smells demon confusion. Been watching the hundreds of shows on Prime during the lockdown, and then about 8 to 10 times Roswell witnesses abductees describe an overpowering smell, often likened to sulfur or something similar. Makes you wonder about the connection with demonic occurrences and sulfur smells. So that's that. Then look at what I went and did. You go and look up the etymology of different things. I looked up alien, a foreigner, citizen of a foreign land. This is all what we know where it came from. We've always known it as this, from alien, from noun use of the adjective in French and Latin. In the science fiction sense, being from another planet. From 1953, alien, strange, foreign. From Old French, alien, strange, foreign, as a noun. An alien, stranger, foreigner. From Latin, alienus, of or belonging to another, not of one's own, foreign, strange, also as a noun, stranger, foreigner. Adjective from alias, another, different. Another, other, different. From pi root, all, beyond. The meaning, residing in a country not of one's birth. This is what we've always known it to be. Country, not of one's birth. This is from the mid-15th century. The sense of wholly different in nature is from 1670s. The meaning not of this earth is recorded in 1920. An alien priory mid-15th century is one owing obedience to a religious jurisdiction in a foreign country. Okay, then go scrolling down. All, we're just going to skip the alienage. All Proto-Indo-European root meaning beyond. It forms all or part of, and these are all the words, and then it is the hypothetical source of, or evidence for its existence is provided by Sanskrit, Anya, other, different, Arana, foreign, Avestan, Anya, Armenian, Ale, another, or Greek, Alos, other, different, strange, Latin, Alus, or alias, another, different. Alter, the other of two. Ultra, beyond, on the other side. Beyond, on the other side. Gothic, alias, other. Old English, else, otherwise, else. German, under. German, under, or other. Their other world, basically. The other world, the underworld. Oh, please, people, please start digging on this alien thing. This is a false narrative. It's a falsehood. It's a lie. We have to stop embracing this notion of outer space as they want us to see, because it's a psyop on the minds of the masses, that we can fly through space in a ship in a singular fashion, in a linear fashion, and to go up into the sky and go to all these other planets. That's not how it's done. Oh my goodness. Please, 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 just go do some digging, do some research, and find the truth. These things are made up. Being from another planet from 1953. All of this crap. In the science fiction, I cannot express that enough. Science fiction. Oh, I'm telling you, people, this is hot stuff. We're on the trail here. Alien, strange, foreign. From Old French, alien, strange, foreign, as a noun. An alien, stranger, foreigner. From Latin, alienus, of or belonging to another, not of one's own. Foreign, strange, also as a noun, stranger, foreigner. Adjective, from alias, another, different. Another, other, different from. But I looked up algorithm because I spelled it with a Y, which is what I recall it being as in the past. And I don't know if this was a Mandela thing or what, but I remember algorithm being spelled with a Y. That's why I spelled it in the introduction in my other video. I have now subsequently changed it to this, because this is where algorithm comes from. This is an Arabic system of computation. Remember what I said in my other video. And from Arabia comes the death of the world. Their world is still dead and dying because they refuse to acknowledge the divine feminine in their own society. They will not let the women come out, but I'm telling you, the women are going to break free soon, very soon. They were already burning their burqas and all that kind of stuff. So, but listen to this. So this is the Arabic numeral system, and it's from medieval Latin, algorithmus, a mangled transliteration of Arabic al-Khwarizmi. Khwarizmi, native of Khwarazm, the surname of the mathematician whose works introduced sophisticated mathematics to the West. Sophisticated? I don't think so. See, algebra, the most nonsensical mathematical computations ever. I've never used it in my life, and I don't know anyone who has. Okay, this is the most important part down here. All of this, algebra, all of these words come from this Algol, a variable star, Beta Persei, in the constellation Perseus, late 14th century, literally the demon. From Arabic, al-Ghul, the demon. See Ghul. It corresponds in modern representations of the constellation to the Gorgon's head Perseus holds, which would be Medusa, but probably it was so called because it visibly varies in brightness every 3 days, which sets it apart from other bright stars. This narrative, 1953, don't you find that interesting? Don't you find that interesting that this was the same thing? Computer language, 1959. And then before that, 1953. And the computer language in 1959 is a contraction of algorithmic language. See, algorithm. You see this? They have put the demon in the machine. These machines that we use are demonic, and they are tied to the underworld. And this is proof. Oh my. Yes, please, by all means, share and like this video. This is some of the most profound knowledge, and we need to know what is going on in our world. They have created hell on earth. And all one has to do is just get really super hyper curious and start looking at some of the etymology of these things and really tying in all of these different events that are happening in the world. Go watch Lord of the Rings again. If you haven't seen it, please go watch it and then come back to this video and then know what's going on and look at some of those UFO videos, because it's there. This alien agenda is a complete and utter lie. It is a falsehood. And they want to bring about the alien God, which would be from hell. Oh, please, please, please share this video. Please send it to anyone and everyone. We need to know about this stuff. Thanks for watching my video, and Godspeed.